Hello! Y'all check out this rainstorm. See, there's my bird feeder. There's actually 5 bird feeders right there. I don't know if you can see them. But this is where Abby the Labby and I sit on the patio and watch the birds in the morning. You see? This is our deck. See, Abby thinks she's watching them right now. Sometimes she lays on that rug, sometimes she lays out there. She just goes a little bit of everywhere. But we're out here today. Abby, you want to say hi to everybody? We're out here today enjoying lunch on the patio and enjoying this beautiful rainstorm. And I gotta tell y'all, I had on a little sleeveless shirt, but got kind of chilly in the rainstorm, so it's sweater weather now. It went from nice and hot and like scalding to sweater weather in about 10 minutes. But I want to talk to you for a second. I'm going to hang out on the couch here because I've noticed something that's going on and I want to tell y'all about it. Y'all say hello when you're here, say hi, and if you're watching this, let's do number 4s today, all right? If you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the replay, give me number 4 and let me know that you're here. Look, I think I can wave to y'all now. Look, wave, 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 wave. But give me a number 4 if you're watching this, or when you come on, give me number 4. Also, I don't know, like I turned 33 in November, so like more than about 6 months ago, I turned 33, and I don't know what the deal is, but like, since I've been in my 30s, I really like hanging out on the back porch, watching the rain, watching the dog, watching the birds, and like just chilling and being outside. Do y'all, like, is that something that like happens when you get older? Like, I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to hang out inside. I just want to be outside and just watch what's going on in nature. I think I'm getting old. But anyway, so I've noticed this thing that's going on, and I've been talking to a lot of people in First Still Done Fast, the men and the women in First Still Done Fast. And one thing that I've noticed is, and I noticed this in myself also, so this isn't anything about anybody in First Still Done Fast. I notice it in myself all the time. And I especially remember it in the beginning. And it's this whole thing of, it's like I got 2 different personalities, really. And give me a 4 if you've ever felt like you had 2 different personalities. One side of me wants to go and hustle and make offers and look at houses and do the marketing and just like hammer down all the time. All the time. Number crunching and hunting and making offers and throwing out deals and signing contracts and like doing all of the, you know, physical, sometimes heavy lifting part of the business. And a lot of people, when they think about real estate, especially when they think about real estate investing, that's all they think about. And people ask me this all the time about flipping houses. Y'all, I don't flip houses. That's work. That's like an extra job or 3. All right? Flipping houses is a lot of work. And part of all of those activities are important. And you absolutely have to do them. But then there's this other side of real estate that people are always talking about. And it's kind of this, I know for me, especially in the beginning, it was just like this la-la land that wasn't real. It wasn't true. And that's the side that I talk about this in First Still Done Fast. I don't really hear a lot of other real estate people talking about this, but it is about taking lunch on the porch and not listening and learning and hustling, but just sitting back and watching the birds and taking the doggy for a walk and leaving your phone at home. It's about knowing that one side of you did all of that work And now you need to let that work, and you need to tap into the other side of you that needs some soothing. It needs some relaxing. It needs some quiet time. It needs to know that when that other side of you is going, that stuff is good. That stuff creates activity. That stuff is what actually gets the deals done physically. But more than that, I think it's equally important for you to not always be going and hustling and burning the candle at both ends, and not always be learning and growing and listening and absorbing and taking notes and running around. Like, I think it is equally important that whatever it is you've been learning and growing, that you give that time to like marinate, and not just to like hit the front part of your brain and be like, yeah, I know I got to do this, this, and this, and this. But also let it hit the front part, and then let it kind of simmer in and let it marinate a little bit, and let like your body absorb. Because a lot of things that I teach in First Deal Done Fast, a lot of things that I ask people to do in First Deal Done Fast, like as soon as it hits their brain, they start having these questions like, why should I do that? Why should we do it this way? Why should we do it that way? Maybe I should change it. Maybe I should make it better. Maybe I should alter it. Maybe I should... And like our brains just start trying to find reasons, find ways to change things and make them complicated. So I really encourage people to go through the first 5 modules in First Deal Done Fast, because that's all about sellers. And I want you to go through the first 5 in just like a clean sweep. Don't even worry about taking notes. Don't worry about trying to absorb stuff. Don't worry about implementing as you're learning. But go through and just kind of take it all in, because by the time you get to the end of it, and it doesn't take forever, I promise. But by the time you get to the end, that has given your brain enough free time to really absorb the full picture of what we're talking about with these sellers, how this works with these sellers, why it benefits these sellers. And also because, you know, when you're learning about lease options or owner financing, or whether you're going to be using all these strategies to do wholesaling or to add it to your, realtor expertise tool belt, like whatever it is that you're in First Deal Done Fast to get out of it, remember that just by you taking all that effort and just be surrounded by all of that energy and all of that knowledge and all the friends and all of the colleagues that you'll have in First Deal Done Fast, just by being in that pot, it's kind of like being in the crock pot, and just simmering in that environment, you will learn so many things, and you'll just absorb things, and you'll kind of learn, not exactly by osmosis, but by repetition, and by seeing the same thing over and over again, and seeing the questions, and seeing that people are doing deals, and seeing that people are getting stopped here, but then we go around it this way, or we go over it, or we go through it, or we go under it. Like, all of those things just start to really get deep down and marinated in your brain. And it might take a month. It might take you 6 months. It might take you even longer. But all of it is working to your benefit. And all of the times that you spend in a quiet place. Like, I do a lot of quiet time when I'm in the car. A lot of people want to learn in the car. They want to absorb stuff in the car, and that's their time to learn, because when they get home or get to the office or get whatever, they got all these other things to do and they can't there. So they want to listen in the car. But I like to keep it quiet in the car. No radio. I do audiobooks, but sometimes I just have them playing just for background noise. Not because I'm actually listening or learning, but just because I just need to feel like somebody's talking to me, you know? But I like it quiet in the car, so that I can just let my mind go. Because there's so many things, you know, when you're talking to sellers or when you're talking to buyers, that when you're in the moment, y'all ever done this? When you're in the moment, you don't have a comeback. You don't know, what to say to solve this problem. But an hour later, the perfect one pops in your head. Right? It happens when you're quiet. It happens when you're not trying to force the answer. A lot of people are, they'll come to me and they'll say, all right, Whit, I've sent this many yellow letters. I've done this many Craigslist posts. I've done this many bandit signs. I've done Facebook posts. I've told everybody. I've done everything. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And I say, yeah, all right. So have you, written down your goals? And no, I skipped that part so that I could actually be doing the real stuff to get these deals done. I'm like, no, writing down your goals, that's not a wasted exercise. That's not a wasted activity. That is you putting it out there that you are going to make X, Y, and Z happen by a certain date. When you just say, I want, more money. Well, then maybe, you get a gift card in the mail for $10. That's more money. Yeah, but that's not what I wanted. Well, then be specific. What do you want? Did you have a goal that you wanted an extra $10,000 by the end of the second quarter? And you were going to do it by buying 2 houses? Did you take a minute and write down your perfect one-liner so that when you meet strangers or you meet sellers or you go to networking events, you have the perfect one-liner so that you know exactly what to say, so that awkward introduction becomes an open doorway to new leads that you didn't even know about? Or did you say, I'll figure out my one-liner later. I got to do this, this, and this, and this. No. The quiet stuff, the small stuff, that is what you really need to be focusing on. Yes, absolutely. I'm not saying that you can become a millionaire if you just sit on the couch and pray and watch the rain every day. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, maybe even time block and say from 9 until 11, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. And then from 11 to 1, I eat lunch, I watch the rain, I walk the dog, I do whatever. But I let whatever it was I was doing from 9 until 11, I let that marinate out in the world. I let that marinate in my head. I let that marinate in my heart. And I give it some time to simmer. All right? Real estate is a lot like dating, but it's a lot like cooking, too. You can throw all the ingredients together and put it in the oven or put it on the stove or put it on the grill or put it in the crock pot. But if you don't put the seasoning on it, you're not going to get the fullness out of whatever it was you were cooking. Right? If you don't let it simmer, let it settle before you eat it. If you don't, let it get room temperature before you cook it, depending on what it is. If you take it straight from the freezer to the hot oven, depending on what it is, you're going to ruin it. Or it's going to take twice as long. Sometimes you got to thaw it out. Right? It's not just putting the heat to it that cooks it. It's a process. And it's the same with real estate. Yeah, you got to go to the grocery store. You got to prep. You got to cut everything up. You got to cook it. You got to eat it. Got it. In real estate, yeah, you got to send some yellow letters. You got to talk to a lot of people. You got to look at houses. You got to make offers. Yeah, I get it. But you also have to have it right in your head. You have to have it right in your heart. You have to have it right and ready. You have to have it planned out. You have to have it strategized. Or you'll say, yeah, I want more money. But it's not as powerful as if you just sit down, you get quiet, you let it marinate, and you say, you know what? Maybe 10,000 by the end of the quarter. Maybe that's just that my mind can't comprehend that. Because if your mind can't comprehend it, you're not going to do it. But maybe you could say, you know what? I could make 2,000. I could see myself doing a deal, making $2,000 by the end of the second quarter. And if you're okay with that, then do it and get your $2,000. And then sit down after you get that $2,000. You say, you know what? I still think 10,000 is too much, but I did the $2,000 deal, and this time I'm going to go 3,500. I'm going to find somebody, and I'm going to make 3,500. I'm going to make 5,000. I'm going to do whatever. You don't want to outstretch what's going to blow your brain. You want goals that are going to feel like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I can do better than that. Yeah, I'm going to do better than that. And then you take steps towards them every single day. And you don't have to drive yourself crazy. And you don't have to hustle. That is important. But it's also important to have fun. To make sure that you're really helping the seller. To make sure that you're really doing the best that you can. To make sure that you're learning not just book stuff, but that you're out in the world and you're learning where people are wanting to go, so that you can, start sending your yellow letters there, or you can start putting your bandit signs there, or you can start learning that this plant is shutting down and you need to go the other way. Like, there's lots of learning to be done, no matter what industry you're in. There's lots of learning to be done that has nothing to do with sitting down and cramming and working your fingers to the bone. In fact, I would encourage you, and this is why I'm so different in real estate. This is why my ladies are so different in real estate. But this is also why the gentlemen that go through First Deal Done Fast, that's why they're different in real estate too. Because most real estate investors, most real estate people, most real estate agents are also just about, did you talk to this many people? Did you send this many letters? Did you make this many offers? Did you do this? And it's all about just the numbers. And they forget to say, yeah, but did you, go on a date with your spouse? Did you explain to them why we do the yellow letters a certain way? Did you put your phone down for an hour every day and not worry about what was going on? Did you let the meal marinate? Did you let the ideas marinate? Like, people don't take the time to let their brain catch up with what their heart's wanting them to do sometimes. Or they don't let their heart catch up to what their brain's wanting to do. And it becomes a fight between hustle, do all this stuff, and oh my God, I'm wore out. That's what creates burnout. That's why you absolutely have to have quiet time. You have to let this stuff marinate. You have to let this stuff go out into the world. You have to trust that when you're doing the hardcore side stuff, and then when you slip into the fun side, you have to trust that what you did is going out there and working on your behalf. And then you set the rest of your day to do whatever it is that you need to do to get done in the day. And you have to trust that all that stuff you put out is going to come back to you. And it comes back to you when you're not sitting there waiting on the phone to ring. This is where real estate's like dating. Y'all remember dating? You'd go out with somebody, and then you'd sit around hoping and praying they'd call. Hoping and praying they'd send a text message. Hoping and praying they'd send a, carrier pigeon. Depending on how long ago it was since you've been dating. No, I'm kidding. Kind of. But you would sit around and wait. And nothing would happen, right? It's like cooking. A watched pot never boils, right? when you're sitting around and you put your stuff out, and then 10 minutes later you're sitting there going, all right, is it back? 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 You refresh, you refresh, you refresh, you refresh. You were forcing it to happen instead of letting it marinate, letting it simmer. Go out there. You put your stuff out there, and then go do something else. Go have some fun. Go spend some time with your kids. Go spend some time walking in nature. Go spend some time digging in the dirt. Go feed the birds. Go do something that has nothing to do with anything, except that it gives your time, your brain, your heart, your mind, it gives all of those things time to let it all marinate and let it simmer. And that is equally as important as the time you spend grinding. You know, you're supposed to get, what, 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep every night? Yeah, all right. But that doesn't mean you're supposed to work yourself crazy for 16 hours. Maybe you do an hour on, an hour of fun, an hour on, and an hour of fun. 4 hours working, grinding, doing whatever it is, and then 4 hours of fun. Go grocery shopping. Do something. Get out. Don't watch a pot. Don't wait on the paint to dry. Go do something else. Go relax a little. Let go a little. Trust that all of the hard things, all of the hustle things, all of the grinding things, all of those like physical activities that you can do, trust in your quiet time that those things are out there working on your behalf. They're simmering on your behalf. They're marinating on your behalf. And then let it come to you. That's how the deals get done. It takes both sides, but it takes equal parts, both sides. And I understand, I get it. It's almost easier to stay busy and to stay doing this and stay doing that and like it's almost harder to let it go and trust that it's going to come back. Abby's out in the rain. She don't even know to come in when it's raining. I get it. Give me a 4 in the comments right now if you agree with me that it is harder to let it be out there marinating, let it be out there simmering. It's harder to let it go than it is to actually do the hustle. Y'all agree with me on that? Like, give me a 4. Exactly. When I'm quiet, when I'm walking the dog, when I'm in the shower, when I'm driving, when I'm doing things that aren't exactly real estatey. Real estatey, is that a word? We're calling that a word now. When I'm doing the non-grinding activities, that's when my breakthroughs come through. Why do you think, people joke that they work really hard to go on vacation, and then when they're on vacation, that's when everything wants to happen? That's because you finally let go. You checked out. You let things go the way they were supposed to go. That's why that happens. Tell me, give me a 4. Have you ever been on vacation and the answer that you were waiting on, the breakthrough that you needed, everything that you'd been like cramming and like crunching and like trying to get so hard, it just came to you because you were on vacation? That's because you let it go. You let it marinate. You let your mind wander. You sat there and you watched the waves. You weren't trying. You were just being and breathing. That's why it happens that way, guys. They say, the hustling, the grinding, that's the masculine stuff. That's your masculine energy. That's the, the hustle, the let me fix it, let me do it, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this better, let me change this, let me do that, blah, 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 blah. And then your feminine energy is that fun and flirty side of you. that side that comes out when you're on vacation, that side that comes out when you're playing and you're having fun and you're being creative and you're letting it go and letting it marinate and you're letting it simmer. That's your feminine side. And when your hustle side is fighting with your fun side, ain't nothing happening. You got to let them both do their thing, separate but equal. But you have to have fun. You have to let it go. You have to do the actual things, but you have to write down your goals. You have to journal. You have to have quiet time. You have to imagine what it's going to be like to do this, that, and the other. That's equally important as all the other stuff. So I'm going to encourage you today to stop fighting this battle of how many of these can I get done? How many of those can I get out? What can I do with this? What can I do with that? And also focus on, or put your entire focus more on, I've got those things going. Now how can I relax into the deals that are coming to me? Let me sit in my goals. Let me write my goals. Let me pray on my goals. Let me do all these things and know that God is going to bring it all back to me just the way I want it, or better. Let it go. Give me a 4 if you promise me you're going to practice the fun side and the creative side. Promise me that you'll take some time every single day, and you can start with 5 minutes, and I promise 5 minutes seems like an eternity to just sit and watch the rain. You'll get used to it. Do 10 minutes of no radio, no podcast, no TV, no internet, no YouTube, no nothing. Just sit. Promise me, give me a 4 if you can do that. Just let your mind go. Let your imagination go with it. Your imagination is so much better than any TV show ever created. And the best part is you actually get to be the star of it instead of watching somebody else. That's pretty cool. Anything can happen. You start to dream it. You start to speak it. You start to write it all down. Then all the other things that you're doing, start to create it. But it starts up here. Starts up here, guys. Don't forget that part of it. Don't fight the wrong battle. Okay? Y'all have any questions, let me know. If you want to get signed up for First Deal Done Fast, I'll teach you all the, not hard stuff, but all of the hardcore stuff that you got to do with the letters and the this and the bandit signs and the posts and the Craigslist, and I'll teach you all of those things. But the first module that I teach you in First Deal Done Fast is all about this thing. And getting your mind right. And wrapping your mind around what it is you're about to accomplish. Because when your mind believes it, when you dream it, when you actually start to say, hey, this is going to happen, and you see all the other people in First Deal Done Fast, and they've all got it happening, you're in the crock pot then. You're simmering then. It's some good stuff. Go to firstdealdonefast.com. Firstdealdonefast.com. People tell me all the time that I say it too fast because I'm used to saying it, but firstdealdonefast.com. I'll help you really believe and achieve $10,000 months with real estate investing. Go to firstdealdonefast.com. Bye, y'all.